welcome. Hiya, it's Friday, Friday tea time. So I'm having a glass of wine. Welcome to my channel, I shall tell you why. Not that there's a reason that I wouldn't have a glass of wine. So I want to give you all a massive welcome. Thanks for coming. It's really great to see you here if you're here. Now whilst I'm doing this, or if you come across this video further down the line, I'm really glad you found me. Well done for coming. It's good to have you here. It's good to feel people around me. Got a few little notes in front of me, so hopefully you can't hear them rattling too much. And if you do hear some snoring, I have got Rufus, my dog, just under the table here, so it's not someone that's just nodded off while we were talking. So first things first, hi, welcome. I'm Vicky. Who am I? There's some questions that I'm going to kind of answer. So I'll give you the question first, then you know what I'm talking about. So who am I? My name is Vicky. I recently had quite a significant birthday. I like to tell people it was my 40th. It was 40 plus 10, so I hit 50, and you know, at the time I did anything other than saying that number out loud. I just, 50 when you were young, 50 was ancient, and then it's happened, and I'm not old, I'm still really young in my head, not as young in my body, but I'm going to come back to that. So what I thought I would do is just document this for people who are like me. You get to this significant age, and oh my gosh, how lucky are we to have got to this age. Some people haven't and never will, and so fab that we're here. If we've just got a few aches and pains, fantastic, we can work around that. But also, how bloody brilliant is it being 50? Finally, you get to a point, hence me having a glass of wine on camera, where I just don't give a damn anymore. You spend your life, your younger life, especially as women, constantly, am I thin enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I clever enough? Am I working hard enough? Am I good enough mother? Am I a good enough friend? Am I good enough this and the other? And I think you get to 50 and you just think, do you know what? This is kind of it now. This is my time. And I think there's a load of us out there, but maybe not too many of us on the screens. So this is our time, ladies and gents. It's not exclusive. So yeah, who am I? I'm Vicky. I'm 50. I am not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I might not be your cup of tea. See you later if that's the case. If you're still here, I might be in with a chance. So hang around. Bear with me. So the channel is a place, yes, it's me on camera. I'll be having some people joining me. I'll be having some special guests. But what it really is a bit of a community, because I'm going to use it as a place to share, to get things together. I want people to contribute. I don't want this just to be me. And that's not me being lazy entirely. That's because I was trying to look down. I've been thinking about doing this for ages, and as I keep seeing these videos, just do it. I studied RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, with Marissa Peer, and one of the best videos she has is just excuse my language, just effing do it. Just effing do it. Stop waiting to be polished, to be perfect. Just fucking do it. And I've always had this sort of voice in the back of my head, I don't like people seeing me without my makeup. I don't like people seeing me without my hair nice, or, in sort of nice clothes. And really, nobody gives a damn. Like, literally, no one's ever walked away from me and thought, oh gosh, her eyeliner wasn't quite even, or, oh, she could do with the roots doing. Said nobody ever. So I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to be naked, and I'm going to be, not literally, nobody would thank me for that, but I'm going to be authentic. So you can see that, none of us have really got it all together. A really good friend of mine the other day said, and she's struggling, struggling with kind of family and mental health and da da da. And she said, oh, I wish I could be like you. You've always just got it together. No, I haven't. So I just thought, why are us women looking at other women and thinking, oh, I wish I'd got it like her? We haven't. None of us have. But how much better that we can be together, not having our shit together. So why am I doing it? I'm doing it for like-minded women. Like I say, everybody's welcome here. But I tend to attract more women to my humour, to my orbit than I do men. So I'm here for women who just need a little bit of something, and that's usually community driven. And you get to a certain age, our marriages may have broken down, our relationships may have broken down, our friends may have moved away, or we've lost friends, we're of an age. Our children are moving away to university or getting married or having their own babies. We could have lost jobs. We could have been, passed by for promotions. 50 is a tricky number. I'm going to get on to menopause, but this is not all about menopause. So there's a lot of changes for us, and a lot of us are struggling a little bit. But I figure the more of us that are struggling when we come together, the more we can laugh at ourselves, laugh at the situation, and just come up with little ideas that help each other, because there is nothing stronger than and more forceful and more powerful than when women get together. It used to be called a coven. Luckily we can do it now and not get burnt at the stake or drowned. So yeah, let's come together. So how will it work? This is a weekly vlog I'm doing, and it's Friday night, and I thought, do you know what, if you're on your own Friday nights, especially, you can't see at the moment, I'll show you outside, it's a lovely sunny evening, it's March, it's April. Here in the UK we're just turning into spring, so we've got some lovely evenings. It's a bit chilly, but it's lovely and sunny, and you could be driving home from work and have a blank social calendar this weekend. If you're single, you'll realise that invitations to dinner parties kind of dry up because the couples don't invite you round. I've got people who are going out and getting really drunk, and whilst I like a drink, the hangovers are not liking me at the moment. Again, that's an age thing, isn't it? So I just thought, Friday nights, just gonna have a little bit of a get together, I think. All those little oddballs coming together. It's the worst that can happen. So the aim of this channel is, like I say, it's for me really to get things across, but also it's to get a bit of a community built together, because I figure the more of us that can come together, the more ideas we've got. And I run a 50+ membership, and it's not a dating site, it's a friendship site, where people who are, like I say, divorced, separated, widowed, you could have moved, you could have relocated, and it's really hard to make friends when you're 50+. How do you find people? So I'm building a community where people can come together, and people who might want someone to travel with, or might just need somebody to go out dog walking with if you're nearby, or somebody, remember we used to have pen pals, and we used to find people all over the world. So I kind of thought I want to build a bit of a pen pal community where we can find people from different cultures, different countries, but we've got one thing in common, is that we're kind of over 50 and not what we used to be, and things that we can share. So I want to build a community. I want to, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I want to build an income. I want this to be a way of me building income. I'm supporting myself, I've got a 17-year-old son. Yeah, I have a day job, but I want something on top of that. I want something extra, and I want to have something that I don't have to be rooted. I I find it quite hard to be kind of rooted in one place, and I want to travel a lot more. And I just thought, how fantastic if I had some way of documenting that as well. So there's loads and loads of stuff coming up. And I'll be honest, I want you to give me a little bit of accountability, because I can be known for starting a lot of new projects. If you're of that community, you'll understand what I mean here is that I have more hobbies than eyelashes probably, and I've started lots and lots of new things, and I'm not a finisher or a seer through, I am a starter of things. So what I thought was, what a fantastic opportunity to have some accountability, because if I've got to keep checking back in and I've got to keep checking my progress with somebody, i.e. you, that might just help me a little bit. So I'm reaching out and asking for help. Anybody who knows me will realise that's a massive step, because I have never been very good at reaching out and asking for help. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to be doing little projects within the channel, looking at my just areas of my life that I want to improve, and hopefully if I can find some fantastic tips and some ideas, I can share them with you a lot. But more importantly, you guys can come and share in the comments and in the community. So there's a couple of people who I need to recognise on YouTube who really helped me get this thing off the ground. Somebody who I've been watching with almost stalker-like interest, Alex Saranoia, and she's fantastic, and she's really honest, brutally honest, and she set up a YouTube channel and talks about how long it took her to get monetized, and you know what's working for her, what isn't working for her. So she's a fantastic place to start if you want to get started. And then my finances, I'm kind of having a flip in how I look about money, because money, there's that dirty word money, I'm going to say it again. I'm based in Yorkshire. Yorkshire folk are somewhat known for being careful with money. I've got an awful relationship with money, and I just figured I wouldn't stay in a relationship for this long if it was awful, and yet I've got an awful relationship with money. So I'm turning that around, and I'm doing some work on that. And there's another girl on Facebook, on YouTube that I follow called Nisha, and I'll link her below as well. And sort of getting to grips with money, and not, I'll be honest again, I'm like I said, I'm trying to be very, very honest on here. I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. So I've just got my, it's not very many bra straps there. So when I've figured out the editing software, I'll edit that out, but for now you might be stuck with it. So yeah, so Nisha is getting me to look at my finances, and I feel like I'm kind of grabbed this. I tend to find money a bit like loads of balls being thrown at your head, you know. I'm always ducking it and sticking my head under to hide from it, and I've kind of caught this big beach ball almost, and thought, hang on a minute, this is mine to control. You know, this energy, this money is just energy, so why am I so scared of it? Why do I feel like I have no control over it? So again, you can be my accountability partner. Thank you for offering for that. And then also, so there will be some structure to these videos. I may come across now as somebody totally chaotic and unstructured, and there'll be a piece of truth in that. I'm great at new ideas. I love, my head's always thinking. I lack focus sometimes, gotta be honest. But what I am is a sharer of things. So if I find something that's fantastic, I'm going to pass it on to you. I like passing bits and pieces, information. You know, we're going to talk about like holiday destinations for single people over 50, and you know, we've got to think about safety. I really want to do travel on my own. Not going to lie, safety is a little bit of a concern because I've never really done it. I was sat here earlier thinking about relationships, and I have had serious relationships since I was 14, 15 maybe. I've not really been single. I was single for a little while on my own in my early 20s, and I was really miserable. I think I was in that panic of, oh my gosh, what if I don't meet someone? What if I don't have children? What if I don't get married? And I kind of galloped into things, and that made me probably, if I'm honest, make some really poor decisions. But that's moved on now, and I'm single. I came out of my last significant relationship, and I was just really scared to be on my own, and then here I am, managing, thriving, enjoying it. Is it sometimes lonely? Yeah, possibly it is. And you know, summer's coming up and I'm thinking, oh, what do I do about a holiday? And I'm kind of really torn. I kind of fancy going on my own. So I'm going to be looking into, how do people holiday? You know, what do you do if you're recently widowed? What do you do if you're recently divorced? How do we holiday? So stick with me, community will build that. What we're going to have every week, because like I said, this is a weekly thing, we're going to have a weekly hot topic. And again, when I've figured out the editing software, I'm going to have that in a little bit that pops. So weekly hot topic. And I mentioned earlier, I am fairly, well, perimenopausal, and I know that's overused, and people go, oh, she's talking about menopause, switch off. So I may just have lost a few people. So I'm not going to bang on about it, but we are the luckiest generation of women, because finally, and you know, thank the trailblazers like the Davina McCalls, who are talking about this and bringing it up and shouting out loud that, hey, this is not easy. You know, the brain fog, the achy joints that I've never had before. And I'm really lucky, but a lot of women I know who are going into the menopause are really struggling with massive anxiety. You know, they're kind of walking away from their jobs, their careers, driving less, travelling less. You know, their worlds are closing in on them because this anxiety that comes along with menopause is just changing them as people. And yeah, we do change, but for me, one of the biggest things, I used to, when I was younger, I had joint hypermobility, so I found things like yoga really, really easy. And then the winds of perimenopause blew in, from the ocean of never thinking anything would happen, and suddenly I can't do, or I'm struggling to do the yoga that I used to do. So that's another little journey I'll be following. I need to get my flexibility back. I need to feel better in myself, because physically I'm not on top of it. I'm not as healthy as I would like to be, and as I have been in the past. So weekly topic, I just want to introduce you to something I have found. Oh, it's not the thing. Part of this, that I could have explained when I was talking about myself, is I am a vegetarian and have been for probably 29, coming up to 30 years. I was just sort of 20, 21 when I turned vegetarian. Lots of reasons for it. At the time, I've always been dead squeamish. I don't really like meat. I don't use any products where something had to be killed. So yes, I do eat eggs, and I do eat honey. So I'm not vegan. This is not a political debate. That's the one thing that this channel, I want us to be open-minded, and I want us to bring in loads of opinions, but let's keep politics out of it. And you know, I'm not joining the vegan brigade, can get quite angry when people mistake vegetarianism for veganism. This is not me trying to convert anyone. This is just me telling you why the things I use are vegetarian, are suitable for vegetarians. These are suitable for vegans and vegetarians. And they're these little, it's really hard to get omega-3, because a lot of that comes from cod liver oil, or in fact, no, I don't know where it comes from, but anyway, a lot of our supplements come from animal products, and I'm not interested in using them, so I find alternatives. So if you are interested in having a meat-free lifestyle or an animal-free lifestyle, these are fab. It's called Nothing Fishy. I'm going to link it down below. So it's plant-based, thoughtful, sustainable, gluten-free, transparent. I'm really trying to look at my impact on the planet, on the climate, on waste, So, you know, things that come in these little glass jar that they come in, and I take 2 a day, and honestly, I really think they've helped. I had some. I'm not very good at taking supplements, kind of forget, and I had some and then ran out, and I was really, really achy, so I've gone back to using them, touch wood. I'm not so superstitious, I don't know how I do that, but anyway, I've gone back to them, and this is how they come. This has just come through the post, like a little thing, but it can be posted. The packaging is completely recycled, compostable, sorry, and the little soft gels. So I'll put a link in that. And what I want us to do is use the comments to talk about, what do you use, if you're kind of a similar age to me, you know, what are you using, what are you finding really useful, are there any foods that you find particularly useful? And I think quite a few women who are perimenopausal are going to mention the alcohol, excuse me. And I do hope if you're watching this, you start having a glass of something. It can be anything, it can be squash, it can be sparkling water, it can be a cup of tea, a glass of wine, but let's get into this together. Nobody likes drinking alone, do they? Anyway, that's my weekly hot topic. Book of the week. I love books. I'm kind of going through a bit of a dry spell at the moment, and I've got about 3 on the go, but none of them have gripped me. So this was meant to be a section where I held up a book and went, oh, and I'm reading this and it's fantastic. But genuinely, I want some input, please. So if you have read something that's fantastic, or you can recommend, and I like a really wide range of things. I like kind of the odd bit of goriness. I'm not too good on the romance, but I just want something that grips me. I like the Richard Osman series. So anything that you can think of, please pop it in the comments. And so just to summarise, this is a really friendly space for people, but I want this to be a two-way. I don't want this to be me just sat talking at you. I'm not a font of all knowledge. I'm not really an expert in much. You'll get to know me more as we go on, but I wanted it just to feel like it was me and an old friend or a new friend just sat having a chat, and sharing little nuggets of help and information. And the one thing that I've always done all of my life is I've always tried to bring things together. I'm a really good matchmaker, not just for romantic relationships, but for friendships. I love nothing more than if I have a friend who says, oh, I'm a bit lonely, or I'm new to an area, and I think, oh, you remind me of so and so, and she's got a dog, and let me introduce you. And I've got people who live, I'm in Yorkshire, I don't know if I mentioned it, and I've got friends in London. I think, oh, they really like each other, I try and get them to meet up and what have you. So I just have this yearning, this need within me to bring people together, to hook people up. And so what I thought was how amazing we've got this, we've got, such, the world is the smallest it's ever been. We have such an amazing network of communication that we're all on the internet. Let's just tap in. Who knows who you might find in my little community, our community, who knows? My hope is that we try and get open-minded, happy people together from every continent. Would be amazing. That's my hope anyway. So please come along for the journey, and yeah, here's where I have to ask you to subscribe and like and subscribe. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to do it. I'll put a button, I think, on the screen. And thanks bearing with me. Please come back. And if there's any topics you think we should cover, whack them in the comments. Okay? Have an amazing Friday evening, if that's when you're watching me. Weekend, if that's when you catch up. Or just let me know how you are. It's been lovely having this time.